How did this decision on your end come to be, knowing that obviously you're facing a lot of different protocols, a lot of different restrictions? How did you guys make it work to get to the point where we are today?
Well, the starting point was submitting the request with conditions through the Allen County Department of Health, and working with Michael and putting together the protocols that we did, as well as the change that the governor made a few weeks back, the 25% capacity, helped us. I think that's what made it doable. But we've been working on cleaning programs and procedures for 6 months now. So we felt we were in a good position, a good spot there. So now it's a matter of, now that the trigger has been pulled and hockey's back, we're recalling some staff. We still have 400 people on furlough, so a lot of staff sitting home yet. And we hope they haven't forgotten about us. We want them back. And so it's going to be interesting. There's a lot to do in the next 30 days to have everything ready. And, from working with our suite people to just, you name it, just about every level, we'll start making ice toward the end of January and get that in place so it's ready to go by February 1st.
Obviously there are a lot of specifics when you talk about hand sanitizer, the ticket stands and just different things. In general, how would you describe a fan's experience at this Comets game coming up starting February 12th? Relative and opposed to the experiences in the past of the Comets game? What's the biggest difference?
Well, and I think just the key word to say, it'll be different. So it's going to take a little getting used to. I mean, little things like the clear plastic bags. And just planning a little bit ahead of time, knowing that at the Coliseum you're going to have to wear your mask anytime you're not eating, drinking while you're seated in your seat. That's another big change. Our guests are accustomed to being very social out in the corridors and having a hot dog or a beer and talking to others. You can't do that now. And it's part of keeping everyone safe because we want to keep this going. That's the important thing. We want the Comets to finish this season and to build on that and to be able to demonstrate to the guests this is a safe place to come out to.
Tell me about the working relationship that you had to have with the Comets and with Michael and those guys, because, I mean, with changes coming every day, coming every week, it had to be a challenge to make things work for so many parties involved, given that it's a fluid situation on an international level.
Michael and I talk all the time, so that level of communication is just constant, so that helps. And we've been working together for 30 years, so if we don't have it down by now, we probably never would. But it's, and just to be able to acknowledge that things are going to change. The condition of the pandemic today will very likely be different tomorrow. And just go, you don't get excited, don't get upset, just do the best you can and move on. Because at the end of the day, it's all about keeping everyone safe, from the Coliseum staff to the Comet staff and our guests, players, everyone. I mean, we can't leave anyone out. So we're all part of that equation. And we have implemented a lot of changes, structural changes around the building, like talking about the UV lighting, that's how we clean the escalators and keep them germ-free, to the air in the elevators. And electrostatic sprayers. If he'd told me a year ago I didn't even know how to operate an electrostatic sprayer, I might have told you were crazy. But now, and we have 6 of our people that have obtained the GBAC certification. That's the highest level of certification you can get. So in terms of demonstrating that we're trying to do it right, we can show that. So for our guests, when you're thinking about coming out to the Coliseum for a hockey game or other event, you can know this is a safe place to come out to.
Final question from me. Michael alluded to this. Financially, this isn't as beneficial as a typical Comets season or as a Comets game. I imagine the same is true on your end at the Coliseum. But given that, how important then is it for this to be a springboard for Fort Wayne as a whole to have something that's community driven and can be used as a jumping off point to a return to normalcy in the Summit City? Well,
and that's the key. Let me answer that 2 ways. Financially, our loss will increase. It won't decrease. Because while we have a reduced capacity, we will still have just as many ushers, ticket takers. We have more cleaning people. The cleaning, the initiative to clean the building is 2 to 3 times what it used to be. So our monthly loss will increase. The county council knows that, and they have been supportive. We put together 2 plans when we submitted our budget. One plan was essentially getting back to normal without social distancing, and the other is with social distancing, and that's where we're at. So, but it's the financial is important because you have to be able to pay your bills, and the county has made a strong commitment to the Coliseum, and I can't tell you how grateful we are to the county council for that. But then the next part of that is quality of life, and why we choose to live in Fort Wayne and Allen County. It's the Comets, it's activities at the Coliseum and others. You know, it's our library system, it's the Fort Wayne Children's Zoo. So it's like we have to support these endeavors. Sometimes that means writing a check at times where you don't necessarily want to. And the Coliseum, up until the pandemic, had gone over 60 years with being self-supportive. That's unheard of. And with the first time I appeared before the county council and I said that unfortunately our streak is broken, they were very accommodating and understanding. And they continue to be understanding with this, knowing that it's what's best for our community. And I tell you, it's a group that I'm very proud to say that I work hand in hand with, and they are so supportive.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Just when you, as a Comet fan or just anyone coming out, remember face mask. If you're at the Coliseum, you have to wear your mask. There's lots of hand sanitizers around, so wash your hands like your mom told you. And lastly, and most importantly, have a good time.
Good deal.